Yo, AD can talk about it a little more, but go ahead.
What's up, Toad? Toad got a question.
Yeah, I got a question for you. I'm a little confused with the timeline because you said Sugar Hill, the Funky 4 plus one more when they made that record, but I thought ColdCrush dates a little further back.
No, I dated further back.
That was 79.
Yeah.
79 is when all them Sugar Hill records came out.
Yeah,
I mean the Enjoy records came out.
But I thought ColdCrush 4 or ColdCrush Brothers dated a little further back than that. Than 79.
Yeah, they do. They
In
do.
parts.
We're talking about like when Charlie, like when you first got Charlie.
Well, when I first met Charlie, I didn't know Charlie. I'd never heard of him. RC said, when I told RC I was starting my own group, he said, well, Charlie Chase want to do it. I said, who's Charlie Chase? I said, set up a meeting with him. The next day I met AD. I said, I'm starting my group.
Gotcha.
I'm starting a group. AD said, I'm an MC. I said, you down. With me, it's just getting it started, and then I work out the kinks later.
Gotcha.
So then the next day, I met Charlie. Charlie ain't like me, but he liked what I had to offer. So we sitting there, we going back and forth. Charlie ain't got equipment, nothing. And this boy is like, yo, we don't need the fucking Coca-Cola. What?
Right,
what's a Coca-Cola?
That's a conversation we had.
Hey, listen, you said you want to tell the truth?
Tell the truth.
I put, where the book at? Where? But, you know, it was all like, I really didn't care. You know, I said, Charlie, you don't need the Coca-Cola, but you do need the Coca-Cola because you're not just walking in there.
Right.
Somebody got to escort you in. You got to be around somebody that already in. You're not just walking in. Because if it was so, they would have been half of what we was doing. Oh, they are. They said they are. That's another story, right?
We will not digress.
Come see me. Come see
Right.
me. I handle my own trouble. I handle my own trouble. He didn't say it. I said it.
No, for clarity, AD, let's bring in AD because at that point, and you made a good point because you was talking about 70. We found you can take this part how we got Almighty KG with the group. Charlie Chase used to play in a few areas of the Bronx, and when you heard a block party going on in the city, when you heard music playing somewhere loud, you just gravitated towards it. You know what I mean? And then the block party, hip hop block party culture started. You know, you started to seek out these parties. And then, you know, when you see a lot of people walking down the block in one direction, you already know, yo, where they jamming at? Yo, they at 118, so-and-so at 118. You would follow them, and then whoever was playing, when you got there, you got down with it. So I caught up to Charlie at a couple of these little block parties. And like Easy alluded to, Chase had his own crew when Tone met him. He was DJing with some Spanish guys, Puerto Rican group. They were musicians and DJs, and they played disco and salsa music. Charlie was the only one out of them that played hip-hop music. So maybe for 20 minutes out of their set, when they would play outside, they would let Chase get on and play his little black music or whatever, you know what I mean, and then go back to the regular set. Now, a lot of times I would catch Chase during these little 20-minute interludes or a half hour, and I would get on the mic with him. So we developed a relationship like that. So by the time the ColdCrush thing came around, he was like, yo, I'll get Cat. You know, I can get Casanova to get down. He didn't want L because L was wild to him, you know, L Smoke does. He was like one of them, but that's the same thing everybody appreciates him for nowadays, you know what I'm saying? But at the time, Chase thought he might be a detriment to the group. But I was like, if he don't get down, I don't get down. All right? And then when he decided, yes, they worked it out, I got down, it was like, okay, now we having auditions for
It's a Street Thing, an interview with Charlie Chase by Juan Flores. The following interview took place on a bench in Prospect Park, Brooklyn, across the street from Charlie Chase's house, on July 29, 1991.
Flores. Yeah, you've got to keep developing. Keep developing. It's like you yourself, how you had to break through and prove yourself in a way. Chase. Tony Tone was the one who helped me to break into the business. Because he introduced me to everybody. Being that he was with DJ Breakout and Baron. They didn't know. Puerto Rican. What the fuck? As a matter of fact, he took me to a jam with them. He took me behind the ropes, 'cause there was rope there. You can't pass the rope. At one point, I remember something was wrong with the set and he went to fix it. So he says, "Wait for me here, Chase." I didn't know what was going on, but they surrounded me and they were going to kick my ass. I didn't know what was going on. Flores, because you weren't black. Chase. Yeah, because I was behind the line and I wasn't down and I was Hispanic. What the fuck are you doing here, Puerto Rican? And Tony Tone caught what was happening and he rushed there and stopped them. And I turn around and I see him breaking on them and I hear what he's saying and I'm like, oh shit. Flores, they were going to fuck you up. Chase, it's wild, man. It's wild. Chase. Anyway, I had to change it. I had to get a stage name. Because come on, Charlie Mandis? DJ Charlie Mandis. In rap music at that time, I would never have made it. Flores. And everyone knows you by Chase. Chase? Yeah. And it was good because with the name Chase, you couldn't tell what nationality I was. So everyone accepted me as black. That's one of the reasons why I think we became very popular. Because nobody could see me, they always heard me on my cassettes. Everybody has our cassettes. Everybody. I have people who work in these major labels who lend me cassettes that I made in 1980, 1979, 1981. They lend me cassettes of all my shows. Flores. Those are rap shows? Chase. Rap shows that we did here in clubs. 1979, 1980, 1981, 1982. Flores. That's when you were little, right? Chase. I was 15. I was gigging at 15 years old. I was good. At that age, man, I'm playing with my idols. Flores. In other words, you could have gone off onto a whole career just in Latin music, just in salsa. Chase. Yeah, but there was no money in it. There were a lot of people being ripped off. I wasn't with that. Not at all. I said, man, I want to do something else. Flores. When you were playing in Latin music, you were also doing rap. How did that combine? In the streets, you were doing rap music, and in the clubs, you were doing Latin. Chase. Yeah, I started doing the band stuff, and then I got into DJing. Right. And then I got into the rap stuff. Let me tell you something. I was rejected by my partners, who were Hispanic, and we were part of a DJing crew spinning disco music. They started doing disco, and I was doing rap. They would spin, and the crowd would sit down. Then I'd get up and play my rap shit, and the whole place would be dancing. And then they'd knock me out. Okay, Chase, you had enough time. Now it's us. Now that the crowd is dancing, they wanted to spin. And then they'd kill the party again. I was rejected by some people because, in their eyes, I was turning black. I was like juggling a ball, man, at certain times. Flores. Caught between two stools, right? Rejected by the Latins in some way. Rejected by the blacks in some way. Rejected by. But you just did it. Chase, I just did it. I didn't give a fuck what anybody said. This is like, yo man, this is what I want to do, and that's that. Flores. So you'd sneak some of that in there, and people were not even aware. Chase. Right. For me, it's the Latin point of view. You see, what I emphasize is that I'm Hispanic in a black world. Not just surviving, but making a name for myself and leaving a big impression. Everything that happened to me was always within the black music business, and I always was juggling stuff all of the time, because I had to be hip, I had to be the homeboy. But I also had to know how far to go without seeming like I was trying to kiss ass or something. or he's just trying to be black. When you deal with the people I deal with, especially at that time when rap was just hardcore and raw, you're talking about guys who were hoodlums, tough guys. I had to juggle that. I had to play my cards correct. It wasn't easy. At times, it was frustrating. I didn't always make the right decision. I mean, I made a lot of mistakes,